Hey guys, happy Sunday. I hope you might take a minute to walk through today's gospel with me. Now, today's gospel comes from John 20:19 through 31, and it actually talks about when the disciples see Jesus after he's been raised from the dead. So, the disciples have been pretty scared since they've seen everything happen, and so they're kind of hiding away. And they have all the doors locked, and they're kind of just huddled around, and suddenly Jesus appears. He doesn't, walk through the door or break in through the lock. He appears, and the door was locked. And the disciples were overjoyed. And Jesus said, "Peace be with you." Which kind of means like, it's okay. And then after the disciples have seen him, he says again, "Peace be with you." And then he says, "So the Father has sent me, I am sending you." And then he breathed on him. And he sent the Holy Spirit into them. And he says, "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive anyone's sins, their sins are forgiven. If you do not forgive them, they are not forgiven." Now, there was one person who wasn't in the room that day, and his name was Thomas. And Thomas wasn't there with the other disciples. So when Thomas saw them, the disciples said, "Thomas, we saw Jesus." And he was a little skeptical. He knew that Jesus had died. He knew that he had died on the cross. And so Thomas said, if I don't see the holes in his hand or his side, I don't know if I can believe that. So then a whole week went by, and suddenly they were all locked in that room again, huddled about, with Thomas there, and Jesus appeared. And Thomas was amazed. And Jesus said again, "Peace be with you." And he said, "Thomas, look at the holes in my hands and in my side." He said, "Put your finger here, see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." And Thomas said, "My Lord, my God." Now Jesus told all of them, "Because you have seen me, you have been blessed. But blessed are those who have not seen and still believe." That's a pretty amazing story, isn't it, guys? So I want to break this down into two different parts. So let's think back. The first time that the disciples see Jesus, what does he say? He says, "Peace be with you." But he also says, "As the Father has sent me, I'm sending you." What do you guys think that means? Because I think it means that God sent Jesus on a mission. He sent him on a mission to spread God's love and to teach about him. And he's saying, just as God has sent me, I'm sending you. So he's inviting the disciples. He's saying, "Come on this mission with me and tell everyone about God's love and about God's mission." How cool is that? So God is kind of reaching out to all of us, and he's saying, "Come, share the good news, share God's love." I think that's pretty cool. And now the other part of the story is Thomas. He's got some doubts. He doesn't know what's going on with Jesus and whether or not Jesus actually came back, and he's kind of doubting. Have you guys ever doubted something? Has there ever been something that you've heard but you don't really believe? I've definitely had some things that I hear that I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That couldn't have happened. But it was true. Jesus was raised. And he said, "You're blessed because you've seen." They saw Jesus, and so they were blessed. But he said, "Blessed are those who do not see and yet still believe." Now, have you guys ever seen Jesus before? I haven't. I've seen people who act like Jesus. I've seen God's love through people, but I haven't seen him. And yet I believe. So that's kind of like us. We are blessed. We've been blessed because we believe and we don't see. But sometimes we doubt, and that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to not know. But we've all been called to share God's love. To me, I always think about it like the wind. Can you guys see the wind? No, we can't see the air. We can't see the wind, but we see the things it does. We see the things it moves, and we feel it. We feel the wind. And that's kind of how I look at my faith, like the wind. Sometimes you can't see it, but you feel it, and you see what it does. So today, know that you've been called by God, and He is inviting you to share His love, and you are blessed. You are blessed, and you are welcomed to share His love. And know that it's okay if sometimes you don't always believe. Know that He's there for us and that He shows us the things that He does. All right, guys, I hope that you have a fantastic Sunday. Inside, outside, get on some walks. Enjoy today. And Wendy says to have a happy Sunday too. You guys are loved, you're blessed, have a happy one.